Alright, Asteroid Collision, LeetCode problem 735. We're given an array of asteroids of integers representing asteroids in a row, and for each asteroid, the absolute value represents its size, and the sign represents its direction. So if it's positive, it's going to the right, and if it's negative, which means it's going to the left. And what we're going to do is we're going to handle collisions where the top of your stack is a positive number and the next asteroid to add is a negative number, so those are going in this opposite direction, so they're going to collide, and whichever one of the two's absolute value is higher is the one you keep. So for this example, you got 5, 10, -5. Obviously this 10 is going to the right and this 5 is going to the left, and the 10 is greater, so the 10 will take over. Here both of these values are the same, but they're going in opposite directions or towards each other, so they will collide, and then neither of them will be added. Here 10 to -5, that's greater, so it'll take over, and then we've got 10 and -5, and then it collides with the 10, and now we've got 10 at the top of the stack. So to implement this, let's see, I'm just gonna create a stack as usual, and then we'll iterate through for constant num of asteroids. That's about right. Asteroids. So to start this off, if there's nothing in the stack, or if the number to add is positive, so it's greater than 0, we can go ahead and push it onto our stack, because here if our stack length is 0, or if our stack length is 0, which means there's nothing in it, we can just go ahead and add the first number regardless. Or if the number to add is greater than 0, which means if we already have, say, a positive number in our stack at the top of our stack, and the number to add is positive, we can just go ahead and add it because they're going in the same directions and we don't have to handle a collision. Also, if the number of on the top of our stack is negative and the number to add is positive, they will never collide either because the -1 is going left and the +1 is going right, so we don't have to handle that collision. And then else, so we get a negative value or a asteroid going to the left. So while this is true, because we're going to use breaks to break out a loop if a condition is met to where we have to destroy 1 or 2 asteroids, I'll go ahead and set a stack. Just setting this peak value to the top of the stack, just so we don't have to hard code it in to make the reading a little bit easier. And then first we'll check if the value at the top of the stack, so if peak is a negative value, and if it is a negative value, we can push the num and we'll break. So if the top of the stack is a negative number, and we're trying to add, let's see, so if the top of the stack is a negative number, that means everything previous in that stack that had a collision maybe was already removed, and so the top of our stack is heading left and the number to add is also heading left, so we don't have to deal with any collisions, so we'll just add that number. And then we'll need to check if the peak is equal to the absolute value of that number. So if you've got a positive peak, and your number to add is negative, like we'd have in this, and if they are equal, which means we have a collision of equal asteroid sizes, they both have to be destroyed. So we'll just pop from the top of the stack, and then we'll break the loop. So we don't add anything, and we just pop off the stack. So basically, it removes both of those. And then our final condition is, so if the value on the top of our stack is greater than the value or the absolute value of the negative number to add, we just break because we don't need to add it. And then stack.pop. And then if none of our conditions are met, we'll pop off the top of the stack. And if we have an empty stack, then we'll go ahead and push that new number and we'll just break the loop. And so down here, make sure I'm on the right line, we will return the stack. And that's your work.